I'm late. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's do this. O Great Spirit, Father Sky, Mother Earth, the winds, the waters, my Father, my Mother, Atanaha, all that is. We thank you for our lives and we thank you for these good people. We thank you for all that we are and all that we are to become. We dedicate our time spent together and our relationships with one another to you. We ask that our suffering be ended and our pain be lifted to the love and to the peace that lay beyond. Aho, Amen, Namaste. Okay, so let's do this. Give me a second, guys. I'm actually going to close the curtain behind me because I think it's causing all kinds of camera issues for you guys. There we go. It's way better. Okay, so the first question is, can I have a general reading from my angels, please? Thank you so much. That's from Teresa. I'm going to tune into her. So I'm immediately seeing like a lot of career choices and a lot of decisions, almost an energy of being unsure about what the best path is forward and what way to decide. And your angels are saying, ask us. You know that they're there so much that you're almost forgetting to ask for help, forgetting to ask for divine intervention. So, asking is a big part of them being able to come in and do what they can help you to do. They're also showing me guilt at making choices that might be better for you than for other people, instead of realizing that when you make the choice that's best for you, it's a win-win, because then it is better for other people, even if it doesn't seem like it at the time. Every time that we choose something that it makes us able to more love ourselves, makes us able to experience more peace in the long run, that benefits everybody around us, and that shifts everybody to a higher vibration. It's always a win-win when we choose to follow through on that guidance. I'm also feeling a lot of anxiety around your heart when I'm tuning into. So we're just going to bring in Archangel Raphael and just vacuum that anxiety, that fear of not being lovable, that fear of not being wanted. Okay. And then Janice saying, thank you for sharing your time with us. I'm truly grateful for gifting all the knowledge and wisdom to help with my shifts in life. What my question is what happened to me? And my other question is, I'm going to go down and see if I can find the other half of Jendra's question. I feel like I'm the only one who can't hear spirit or the angels or meditate, trust my intuition or what anyone says. Am I bitter, broken, like it's not who I think I am? Am I losing my mind? I don't think you're losing your mind. I think that there is a process. I think everybody has spiritual gifts, but there is a process of awakening those gifts. So it either happens spontaneously, like to me, where you have a spiritual awakening, or you're born with it, or there's a practice that awakens it. And normally when you struggle to hear or see, etc., your angels, you start by being able to feel them, and with them showing you things like signs, so like repeated numbers, repeated angel cards. You come into contact with people like me, right, who are really connected, because when you're praying for a connection with God and the angels, God surrounds you with other people that have already achieved what you want. It's kind of like when you're broke and you find yourself surrounded by wealthy people because you're praying for money, or when you're sick and you find yourself surrounded by healthy people, because they have the vibration that you need to achieve what you want, and they have the blueprint that you need to achieve what you want. So when you're starting from scratch and you're not hearing, you're not seeing, you're only feeling and you're getting signs, what you want to do is you want to use prayer a lot. So you want to pray for your angels to talk to you. You want to pray to be able to hear them. You want to pray to have a deep relationship with God and with your angels and with yourself, because prayer is the first first catalyst. It's the first act of consent of you saying, this is something I want. I want a relationship with angels. I want a relationship with God. I'm open to my spiritual gifts. So you want to put in a prayer practice first thing in the morning, last thing at night, minimum, sorry. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to be asking your angels all the time. Even if you can't hear the responses, you want to be asking them, angels, can I have a car parking space? Angels, can you help me find this when you're shopping? Angels, can you help me find that phone number? Angels, can you help me find that person? Angels, can you help speed up this process? Because the more that you're asking, every time you're asking about the angels, thinking about the angels, talking to the angels, that connection is strengthening, that cord is growing. Same thing with God, right? You want to be constantly having those conversations with God, constantly having the conversations with the angels, even if they appear to be one-sided. And what tends to happen is the signs get stronger and stronger. The the energy gets stronger and stronger, and the signs in particular start to become undeniable, to the extent that you start laughing when you get the answers to the prayers, or it comes in that quickly. The next thing that you want to do when it comes to meditation is you want to use somebody like the Doreen Virtue Chakra Clearing meditations, um, or like my angel reading meditations, because you want to use somebody that is strongly connected to their angels, and who doesn't is not just is not lip service. It's something that they live every day, and they have that vibration in their meditations. um those are the things that kind of start opening you up to communication. But if you're clairsentient, so you feel and you get signs, that's a very valid form of communication. And there are psychics that work just from the feelings and from their and from the signs that their guides and their angels give them. What I will say is that if you're not getting anything, there's a good chance that there's a lot of people in your life that are very cynical, that don't believe in God, or that believe that it's, against your religion for you to have your own spiritual gifts, your own connection with the angels, your own connection with God, and it all has to be through the religion. So I would work on the religious persecution and abuse as well to get that to open up for you. Okay, Mattis is saying, hi Sky, can I please ask for guidance regarding my belly button? Sometimes it hurts. Is it candida? I do have carbs like crazy and I have a feeling it's candida. Thank you so much. I like when I'm scanning, I immediately got parasites and fungal. So yes, I think it's both, but you have to get these things tested, right? So if that's your gut feeling, that's what I would go and get checked. Um, but it, like, you guys know that from a metaphysical perspective, candida is resentment, right? Parasites is letting people use you or take advantage of you. So you want to start by looking at where do you feel that you have to let people abuse you? Is it for money? Is it for intimacy? Is it for the sake of your family? Where are you letting people abuse you and suck your energy and suck you dry and take without returning? Where those relationships out of balance? So you want to do the actual treatments for the parasites and candida, but you want to deal with what's actually going on in your life that's lowering your immune system so much that you're becoming susceptible to those particular illnesses and conditions. Candida's anger that you don't feel that you have the right to have. Um, so it often comes from you being gaslighted, right? From you telling somebody that you're upset, and they're like, you don't have the right to be upset because of this, you don't have the right to be upset because of that, you're actually the problem. So it's this energy of, I'm wrong for having authentic feelings, and I don't have the right to have my needs met. And then over time, it builds up, whether it's resentment and not having your sexual needs met, emotional needs met, parenting needs met. It's that resentment that we don't think we have the right to have, either because we feel like we're just going to have to do it anyway, or that's just the way things are. So it's useless to have those feelings, or whether it's because deep down we think we should be able to do better, or we should be able to handle it all. Anger tends to come from the places where we're not supported, that we really deeply need to be, the places where we feel alone, where we really thought we would have companionship, the betrayals that from people that we thought were friendships. So let's just take a minute to bring in Archangel Raphael and do an instant healing for that anger. And just, removing all the parasitic people, anyone who's draining you of energy. Ooh. Anyone who's using you financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. I'm just going to give Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael permission to remove them now. Anyone that's psychically attacking you, magically attacking you, I'm just going to give Archangel Michael, getting Jesus coming in here quite strong as well. We'll give Jesus permission to come in and do some work too. You can use whatever religion you want. There we go. Woo! Okay. So Lena saying, hi Sky, thank you for being here. I asked for guidance about the roots of the challenging inheritance tax situation I'm part of. Will it be possible to resolve it? Let me just tune in. So I'm seeing Archangel Raguel and I'm seeing the weights. So that tells me that the situation will be resolved fairly. There's real, like they're immediately showing me like, watch your mind. Watch your mind. So I want you to start saying out loud, the situation is already resolved. The situation is already sorted. The situation is already fixed. And God is already sorting out the situation. God has already made a way where I can see no way, as opposed to I'm not sure, it's really stressful, it's really difficult, because that really locks difficult situations in place. You want to literally say, God has been loosening strongholds since the dawn of time. And strongholds are difficult situations, difficult arguments, difficult belief system. So God has warfare for this. So spiritual warfare for this. So when you come across a stronghold, an energetic stronghold or an argumentative stronghold, you can really bring that divine weaponry into that place and ask God to loosen that stronghold that's that's holding it in. You can also tell God that you're ready to receive all the money that you're blocking. All right, you're ready to release everything that you're keeping in the way of that money coming in, that you're calling back all the money that was stolen, all the money that was lost, all the money that's been held up, all the money that is owed. You're calling it back across all levels, lifetimes, planes, and dimensions, and you're ready for it now. You are open to receiving it now. And watch how quickly that income starts to come back. But be very careful. You have the power of life and death in your tongue. Only speak about this situation as if it's already been resolved. And if anybody asks you about it, that's not the lawyer, or that's not the, directly involved, you just say to it, it's being taken care of, right? I'm really grateful that it's being taken care of. Okay, Diana saying, hi Sky, my new boyfriend has his issues, my new boyfriend has intimate issues and blocks to being intimate because before he had women who banned him for being intimate. Can I ask for healing, or do you see something else? Thank you. You can ask for healing, but I need his consent. All I can do without his direct consent, unless he knows that you've, messages, etc., is send unconditional love. I can't do readings or things like that without, getting caught up in karmic laws that I don't touch with a barge pole. Okay, Lucia is saying, I'm overweight around the belly. Can it be liver? Can it be healing? Can I receive healing, please? Thank you. Yep, let's call on Archangel Raphael and send you an instant healing. You've got high cortisol, darling, which means you need to really relax. Start doing like exercise like Tai Chi, Qigong, somatic repair exercises, because it's like stress related. It's very hard to lose weight on high cortisol because cortisol literally tells your body to hold on to the weight, because you have to run, or you might have to survive or rely on the extra weight, if you're going to go into poverty or starvation mode. So let Archangel Raphael heal your cortisol levels, balance your nervous system, remove the blocks to you losing weight. And let's just release the part of you that doesn't feel safe, right? Whether it's protecting you from sex with someone that you don't want to have sex with, whether it's protecting you from attention that you don't want, whether it's pushing someone away, like kind of male attention that you don't. Let's release all of it. Any part of you that doesn't feel safe being sexy, being beautiful, your definition, not because you already are, but you know what I mean, your unconscious mind, your definition. Okay. Nicolette is saying, "Hi, Sky. Maybe silly, but what can I do with cellulite on my legs? Feeling ashamed and sad about it." Okay, so let's just start by asking Archangel Raphael to vacuum the shame out of your legs and your thighs. And we're going to put it up against the wall as well. So this is about lymphatic drainage, is what I'm seeing with you. It's like your lymph is working very slow. And it's really a big, like ashamed of wanting to move forward, ashamed of not, I don't know if it's you're not, I don't know if you're not in love with someone anymore, or if you've changed in a way you didn't expect to change, but you're not who you were. What you wanted is not what you want. And there's an energy of like not feeling like it's right, feeling like you have to stay, feeling like you have to love, feeling like you have to fulfill your duty, being ashamed of what you really want. So let's just release all that, being afraid of who you've become, of or ashamed of who you've become and of what you want and of where you're going. Okay, that's looking a lot better. Sylvia saying, "Dear Sky, I was told a few years ago I have a plum bum in my body. Heavy metals. I'm not sure what a plum bum is, but okay. Although I try to eat well, do you sense it also? How can I reduce it? Thank you so much." So heavy metals, you want to you want to find something that they can bind to remove from the body. So bentonite clay, coriander, um, zeolite clay. There's so many things that bind with heavy metals that will remove them slowly and gently over time. You just want to make sure that you're taking them every day, so that process is happening with grace and ease. We're going to call on Archangel Raphael to help you with that too. Okay, Aisha's saying, "Hey Sky, I have a habit of picking my hair out of the back and center. Any insight from my angels as to how and why to stop?" It's self-harm, darling. It's self-harm, and it's coming from a belief that you deserve to be punished. So you have to go back and look at the ways that your parents and your caregivers punished you, and the things that they said to you when they were punishing you. Why are you, from everything from "I'm going to teach you a lesson" to "Why do you make me do this?" to um, what did they say to you when they were hurting you or when they were punishing you, when they lost control, and in what situations did they lose control, so that you can address the trauma and the underlying anxiety that's causing the self-harm, and you can really understand that your childhood may be broken, but you are not, right? Just because you were oh, just because you have a broken childhood doesn't mean that you are broken. You are not your childhood, right? You're so much bigger than that. So we're going to call on Archangel Raphael just to do a healing on this self-punishment, self-hatred, self-sabotage. Getting Archangel Uriel coming in super strong here as well. So anybody else that wants him, let's do that too. Okay, Vanda saying, "Hey Sky, may I get insights and healing on jealousy? My partner used to find other women who chased them. Do you see it also with my partner JR? Much love." Look, like I said, I don't tune into people unless they give me permission. But any man or woman who is using, like, any man or woman who's reasonably attractive will get pursued, right? Unless you marry somebody who has sabotaged their health or sabotaged their body, It's normal for men to pursue women and women to pursue men. When you are in a committed relationship, what happens is that that pursuit doesn't get encouraged. So if a man comes up to me and says, I think you're beautiful, I'll say to him, thank you very much, I'm married. I won't encourage that pursuit, right? So that's what you're looking for in your partner. Does he encourage the pursuit? Because there's no world in which, men and women stop desiring each other. There's only a world in which you trust each other enough that the commitment stands. So let's bring in Archangel Michael to help you be willing to see the truth of the situation, right? How does he respond when women are attracted to him? How does he deal with these situations? And does it make you feel safe? Does it make you feel loved? There we go. Okay. Okay, Monica's saying, hi, Skylar. My mom used to be jealous of me. I don't know why. May I ask for a healing? Also, it feels like she tests my partner. My dad does not accept him. May I ask for healing on this relationship? Thank you. Um, it's it's quite normal for abusive mothers to be jealous of their daughters, um, exactly because instead of having that unconditional love, they have competition, um, and because they never got to be really happy, us getting the love, respect, recognition, or having more than them, it triggers them because they haven't resolved their trauma, right? Um, so we're just going to send Mother Marian to help heal the situation. But the reality is, if your family isn't, like, I'm really getting Archangel Michael saying pretty strong, if your family isn't accepting your partner, you have to stand up for them. You have to say, this is my partner, and you will treat them with dignity and respect. You will treat them with kindness. And if you don't, then there will be consequences, right? The bare minimum is you will treat them with dignity and respect, which means you will not make fun of them. You will not embarrass them. You will not speak badly behind their back. You will not criticize them to me all the time. You will not tear them down. This is the person I love. Because the other thing that can happen is if you have an abusive family, is they can go after your partner because they know it gets to you, right? They know it damages the relationship. They know that you start feeling like the relationship might not be good. On the other hand, and I'm kind of seeing like there's some aspects of this, you do want to be asking yourself, are you choosing people that are of a high enough standards, or are you choosing people that you're in lust with instead of in love with? Because it is an important thing. So if they're struggling to accept him because he's not treating you well, that's a very different thing than if, them being jealous or things like that. You have to be willing to raise your standards. And it's very normal as well for us to choose partners that treat us badly if we had parents that were competitive and jealous, etc. too. Okay, we're seeing that start to clear now. Okay. Okay, Nicola is saying, hi Sky, I want to withdraw my investment. Will it be smooth or difficult? Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult, darling. Like, my first instinct when I'm scanning is that you're going to face some opposition. Um, yeah, so you need to, we're going to call on Archangel Michael because I think you're going to need to be ready for a battle with this one. Okay, Mary's saying, Can I have a love reading? I feel like I'm in a forever state of waiting for him, both in the material and mental world. I need advice that's just for me to figure out how to make things better. Mary, it's a neglect wound, darling. It's a neglect wound. You were raised with, male figures that neglected you and ignored you, and he's a mirror for you thinking that that's what love is. So a trauma bond is what a child mistakes for love, right? So if your dad was absent, was working all the time, was barely home, didn't really spend time with you, even when he was at your birthday parties or whatever, if he showed up, he was on his phone or he was busy talking to other people. If your father or your mother didn't know how to be present with you and they neglected you, then you are going to think that that's love, and you're going to recognize other people who do that as familiar because that's what you had growing up. That's what love was to you, right? But that's not what love is. So when you actually realize this is not love, that's when you are able to end the abuse and get out of the toxic relationship, and move forward. Sarah saying, "Hi Sky, I had a dream where I was told my partner will be helping me finish my studies, and it was the only information I was given. Is it true? And if so, why they choose this information?" Well, it's quite normal for your studies to benefit the family or benefit the company that you're in. So it's one of those situations where the angels are saying to you, there's more support than you realize. And it's okay to ask for it, whether that's more time or financial support, or it's okay to let yourself be supported in finishing something that's going to benefit everybody. This is back to that belief that what benefits me doesn't benefit somebody else when it does. So for example, me having a law degree doesn't just benefit my family because I have a good income, it also benefits my partner, and it benefits our companies, and it benefits us in many ways. So if I hadn't finished my law degree, then we wouldn't have had those benefits, right? Which is why my parents supported me in getting a higher education. It's that when one of us wins, we all win. If we're playing as a team, when one of us wins, we all win. So why would they? Because it benefits everybody for you to do well. And why would it come in a dream? Probably because you haven't asked, and if you haven't asked, most people don't advertise their financial situation, and then the angels are basically saying to you can approach this person, this is available to you. You're missing out on an avenue here. Maybe this quitting is not the best option. Maybe asking for more support is the option that you're looking for. Okay, Selena saying, "Hello Sky, I often, out of the blue, get a feeling of sadness and crying on my left side of the chest, arm, throat, and face. Could you see what this is about? Thank you." It's about, like, they're really showing me there's quite a bit of unprocessed grief. I'm not sure if they're showing me losing family members, and they're showing me like losing friends and not having the time to grieve. And it's also ancestral. So its left side is like stuck in your female line, like, I'm too busy to grieve. I've got too much going on to feel my feelings, or this is not worthy of grieving. It has to be like, it should be something bigger than this for me to be this sad. So it's letting you process your feelings of sadness and disappointment in other people. I'm also feeling like so much loneliness, and this feeling like you're alone. Even though you have people around you, you're still having to do so much alone. So let's just take a minute and clear that out. Ooh. Vacuum as much of that sadness out as we can from your lungs. Okay, that's way better. Norhan is saying, "Hey Sky, my father has chronic lung disease and I'm worried for him. Can we send him love and healing?" Yeah, we're going to do the same thing. Just breathe, and we're going to pull out as much of the sadness and the loneliness as possible. Okay. Okay. Maria's saying thank you. You're welcome, beautiful. Okay, Shruti's saying, hi, can I have a throat chakra scan and a healing for me? So start by sending in the healing angels. Gosh, yeah, there's a lot in your throat chakra. So I'm seeing glass coming out and I'm seeing a lot of psychic attack. So let's just pull out all that psychic attack, all that sadness, all that anger. Okay, that's clearing up really beautifully. It's going to get Archangel Gabriel to come in um, to help you speak your truth and to help you write your truth. I personally find that journaling helps me a lot, right? Because the first time you speak your truth or you come up against your truth, it can be all jumbled and emotional and all over the place. And it can take time and processing for you to figure out how you really feel about a person, a situation, what happened. And when you're trying to work that out in a conversation with someone, it can get really messy and you can do damage that you can't undo. Whereas with journaling, I can figure out where I stand, what I feel, what I really believe before I have that conversation. And that puts me in a much less vulnerable state when I'm communicating directly with that person, but also in a position to be much kinder in the way that I communicate what I need to say. So I hope that that helps, because you need to start speaking up more, and that's a very big thing. Okay, Tanya's saying, Tanya here, I've made some breakthroughs and I'm stumped. It's manifesting in my lungs and chest, sadness and grief. Yeah. Any angel grace flashes of light. Love you so much. Thank you. So, this theme today with sadness, lungs, loneliness, grief, it comes from the core belief that you are alone, right? Having to face difficult situations, solve difficult problems, often from being in romantic relationships where you thought that you had a partner, but actually you had a child, or you had a person who was just using you, or a person who is irresponsible, whether that's, in a romantic relationship or in a business relationship. It comes from, not having the support of family members when you thought that you would. So I'll give you an example for me, right? Because my lungs are pretty strong, but I got really bad chest infections twice as a kid and then once as an adult. So, for example, once after I had a miscarriage, because I felt like I was going through it alone, nobody wanted to speak about it with me. And it was, it was like, it was completely gaslit and it wasn't happening. Um, Once because I really thought that I was going to have the support of friends and loved ones, um, when I was actually giving birth to my son. But because of COVID, I was also completely alone. And even in the hospitals, my husband wasn't allowed to come in with me. And I had to grieve that. Once because the organization that I was working for broke down, and I was grieving the loss of the community and the relationships. So grief is grief is grief is grief. Doesn't matter if it's a friendship that's over, if it's a relationship, if it's a job, if it's a season of your life, like the kids are leaving the nest, or the pregnancy is over, and the pregnancy can be over because you gave birth, right? It's just that whenever a season of life is completed, whether it's adolescence or maidenhood, or sage or mother, you feel these moments of grieving, and it's your body's way of completing that season. So let's just take a moment let Archangel Raphael in to really vacuum the belief that we're alone. We're even in the moments where we feel alone. Guess what? There isn't a person on the planet that hasn't felt utterly and completely alone. Other people do understand your loneliness. Other people have felt the pains and the pangs of loneliness. Other people have been forced to do things alone that they thought that they would have when they thought that they would have other people by their side. And they have overcome, they have released it, they have let it go. So let's take a moment so that we can allow, right? Allow the reality that we're not alone in our suffering or in our loneliness to clear the loneliness. Okay. Lucy is saying, "Hi, Skylar. I need an angel card for my financial concerns and I need your advice. Thank you so much." Okay, let's have a look at what's coming up. So the words that are coming into my mind and the card that I'm seeing is the Keep the Faith card from the Angel Mermaids deck, actually, with the mermaid on the rock, like really holding on to the rock of faith or the stone of faith, and this energy of like keep the vision clear, focus on where you're going, don't get caught up in the drama of what's happening around you, just really focus and you're going to hit your mark. It's like what the advice wise, energy wise, when I'm scanning you, it's a worthiness issue. So it's understanding that your capacity to hit financial goals is not about your it's not about your audience, it's not about your work, it's about your worthiness, because your worthiness is then what is reflected in what's happening around you. So increase your worth, do the mindset work so that you start believing that you are worthy of good, worthy of financial freedom, worthy of living your divine life purpose, worthy of being fulfilled. Okay, Vanessa's saying, "Hi, Skylar. One man who wanted to have a business with me and it crashed, but not because of me. But he says it's my fault. May I get a healing?" Yeah, of course you can, darling. Of course you can. Send in Archangel Michael. Just vacuum out all that guilt. Just give back all the guilt he's trying to pour onto you. It's not yours. And get legal help if you need it. There we go. Yeah, I'm getting Archangel Raguel in here. Please talk to a lawyer. Okay. Okay. Sylvia saying, "Hi, Sky. I feel terrible in jobs, like hard working. May I have a healing services in the near future? Although I fear visibility and one man was stalking me." Look, this is really about having to clear, you really have to clear the persecution wound, and you really do have to work on visibility, because you are a talented healer. But in order to have people, there's more than one way of doing this. You either become more visible on social media and you position yourself as a healer, right? Or you become an affiliate with other people who are already successful healers. So for example, with me, there are 3 or 4 healers that work with me in the background to support me, because my healing clinic outgrew me. I can't handle everybody on my own. So I have 4 other practitioners and coaches that support me, and a few of them are very shy, so they don't have their own practices, but they're very good healers. So I send them clients, right? So you can do it that way. If you're not an extrovert, you can do it by joining sites like BetterHelp that will also, and you know, like Hypnosis Society or Counseling Society or Healing Society, so that people will, you know, go onto their website and refer themselves to you. But if you don't want to be more visible, then you have to do it the old-fashioned way, which is affiliates and partnerships, and commission schemes. But it's being open to letting God do that. I will say that this is a mindset shift, because working as a healer is not easy. It is hard work. When you do 3, 4, 5 clients a day, trust me when I say it's hard work. Organizing, marketing, running workshops, it's a lot of responsibility. Being self-employed is more responsibility often than working for somebody else, because, you know, when you work for somebody else, that money comes in regardless of the effort you put in, regardless of, you know, how many sick days you took that month. When you work for yourself, if you didn't do the work, if you didn't show up, if you didn't get the results for your clients, then, you know, your money dries up very quickly. So it's very important to do the mindset work on working smart versus working hard, and on being able to deliver really good results. Um, you know, because if you go into self-employment with this belief that you have to work hard for money, then you're going to work just as hard as you work in a job, and, you know, have other kinds of complications. Self-employment is not a hobby and it's not a holiday. You know, it's a job replacement. When you start getting into companies and assets and businesses, that's when you get into being able to hire other people to do what you do, or being able to sell courses and products that make you a passive income. But healing is exchanging a service, right, for income. So people are paying you for healing. Um, and that means you have to sit down and do that healing. So it's not the absence of hard work, I'm afraid. If you want to not work hard, you want to set up an online business that is in exchange for a digital product like a journal, or um, you know, an ebook, or, you know, an online course or a masterclass. You don't want to be exchanging healing sessions or doing healing sessions, because that's still work, you know. So if you're trying to get out of working hard, you want to set up a business that will make you a passive income, affiliate marketing, things like that. You don't want to be setting up in a service-based industry. So we're going to send in the business angels to help you with transitioning. Hi, Sky. The man I was dating decided to break. Is there any hope, or is it over? Can I have a healing and guidance, please? Yeah, let's call the romance angels in for you. Okay, that's looking a lot better. My love, my feeling is that it's over. And my feeling is very much like, if someone shows you that they're not in love with you, that they don't care about you, let them go. I've never seen chasing somebody work out well, ever. And I don't say that lightly. So we're just going to call on Archangel Shamuel to help you heal your heart, but also help you not to give your heart before the person's made a commitment, right? Made a commitment to do more than just sleep with you. You know, you need to, if I were in your shoes, you're raising your standards to, you're not just sleeping with somebody who's saying they're going to be your boyfriend or they want to date. You're like waiting for the ring. You know, you need to raise that energy of you are worth more. And that's, you know, it's a very strong vibration. You know, it's a very strong vibration that, you know, what your worth is. There are some women that will, be in intimate relationships with you because you've had dinner with them. There are some women that will be in intimate relationships with you because you've told them that they're going to be your boyfriend. And there are some women that will only be in intimate relationships with you when they get the ring. What you have to decide is which one you are, right? The reason I changed my mind, like if you'd met me when I was in my early 20s, all it took was me liking you and us having chemistry. But, as you get older, you realize the price of having your heart broken over and over and over again. And you also realize that, boyfriend, girlfriend isn't a real status. It's not a real thing. It's just a way of saying to the world we're having sex, but we're not committed. Um, so that's pretty hard, right? It's pretty hard on us and the way that women fall in love and the things that women need. I used to be embarrassed of wanting commitment. I used to be embarrassed of wanting marriage because of all the feminist abuse I got when I was a kid. I was embarrassed I thought the man had to decide if we were going to have children, if we got married, of all that stuff. So now that I've cleared all that stuff, I know my worth, right? And it's not about withholding. It's exactly the same with clients. I wouldn't do sessions with somebody unless they were willing to pay the price and they knew my worth. And I'm not running around trying to prove myself to random people. And it's the same thing with men. I'm no longer willing to waste my time with men that don't know my worth. It's just not on the table. I'm just not available for that, period. Um, and my worth is much higher than it used to be, right? Because I have assets to protect, because I have a divine life purpose, because I know the price of a broken heart is much more than crying in my pillow for a weekend. It's the bitterness, it's the betrayal, it's the therapy sessions, it's everything it takes to put a life back together. So if you want into my life, and you're asking for into my life, then you need to be serious about that. And that's the level that I'm at now versus the level that I was at when I was, in my 20s and I didn't understand who I was or my own worth. Lana saying, thank you so much. Your words really helped me today. You're welcome, beautiful. I had tears when you were speaking. Gratitude and blessings. I love you, darling. I'm glad that it really helped. Okay. Love Sunshine is saying, Dear Sky, you said about my ex-partner that the love is real and you can see companionship. Not sure how you meant it or friendship. We see each other again and I'm confused. There will be no marriage, I know that. I don't know if there will never be marriage and couldn't even live with each other. I feel sometimes he is the one for me. Sometimes, however, I feel I need to look for someone else, even though that makes me feel guilty. There is always more than one soulmate for us, and we have free will. So somebody can be a compatible partner for you emotionally and spiritually, but not have the level of, financial maturity or create the level of emotional stability that we need to make a relationship work. So it's more than just about us liking each other and loving each other. It takes a lot more than that to make a marriage work. So if he is saying that the marriage is not on the table, you 100% need to go and look for somebody else and find somebody else, and grieve, grieve the wasted time, grieve the hope lost, but not let him waste any more of your time, not let him take any more of your energy. If marriage and commitment is what you want, and he's saying it's not possible, it's not going to happen, you need to say to him, look, I'm happy to potentially keep dating, but the moment somebody offers marriage, I'm gone. You're blocked. That person's got 100% commitment. What's happening with women is that we're not dating, we're not courting, we're sleeping with people, and we're creating like serial monogamy because we're sleeping with somebody that hasn't committed to us, hasn't given us loyalty. And then we're getting our hearts broken and we're not understanding why. um, you know, it's really important to get it that we are physically and emotionally geared to love men that we're intimate with, and they are physically and emotionally geared to sleep with as many people as they can. So there needs to be a boundary in place, there needs to be a protection in place, and for a long time society was that protection. Now that is no longer the case. So we have to be our own boundaries and we have to allow our angels to be our own protection. Raise the standards for being intimate with somebody, especially if you know that your heart is on the line, right? Especially if you know the cost of a broken heart long term. Um, which is eventually not even believing in love anymore and not trusting anybody. So it's that energy of, if your partner is telling you that they don't love you, that they're not going to commit to you, that they don't care, no matter how heartbreaking that is, believe them. Believe them. Okay? I know it's hard, but it's not as hard as being in a toxic relationship and never really finding the person you're supposed to be with and will give you everything that you want. Eva saying, hey Sky, my skin has got a skin rash allergy. Not sure where it's from or how to help it heal. The angels are showing me peppermint. So like doTERRA peppermint essential oil or peppermint tea is really going to help. And it's this energy of like cooling down. Rashes are like, around anger and irritation that you're not supposed to have, right? So let him, ask him, is there anything that happened that made you feel angry in the last few months or in the last week? Um, has anybody been giving you a hard time, or have they been bullying you? So, engage in those types of conversations, and put like bags of organic chamomile tea, bags of organic peppermint tea inside the bath. Calamine lotion is really amazing for sorting out rashes and allergies. And, doing gentle gut repair things, that will, things like CBD oil that will help repair the gut, because that's allergies come from, the immune system over, responding to something. So protecting yourself or feeling like you're not able to protect yourself. Lauren Walton saying, hi Sky, I have a medical disorder that causes sufferers to smell. Really had, I really, despite having good hygiene, I wasn't born with this disorder. I developed it in adulthood. Do you have any idea about the root cause and if it can be cured with healing work? Like, I really believe that everything can be resolved with healing. I wouldn't do what I do. I wouldn't teach medical intuition if I didn't believe that. What I think is important, because when I'm like, this is a protective part. It's like this smell is like to keep people away, to repel, to repulse. So you want to look at what was happening a year before you got sick, or 2 or 3 years before you got sick, and who you were trying to push away, who you were trying to protect yourself from. Often illnesses that like cause people to like have repulsive reactions, things that smell, things that have pus, things that you know make us less attractive in the eyes of the opposite sex. It's a protective part, because we don't want to engage in that activity anymore, or we don't want to get hurt anymore. So, I'm going to call on Archangel Raphael to do an instant healing, but you're probably going to have to go deeper. You're probably going to have to like work on the disease whispering. Feel free to message the team if you want to get some more support with that. But it's a protective part, darling. It's basically protecting you. You're afraid of letting people get close, and it's protecting you. So beliefs like, I'm better off on my own, beliefs like, why won't they just leave me alone? And beliefs for like, it would be so much easier if I didn't have to rely on anybody or depend on anybody. Beliefs like, love isn't real. Those are the kind of beliefs that you're looking for. Okay. I'm going to stop here for today, guys. Just letting you know that I have, that we are in the middle of we're getting in speed with Medical Intuitive, that we have lots of new people joining. If you're interested, if you're a healer, if like today you've got illnesses coming up that you'd like to know how to resolve, please drop us a DM. We will talk you through figuring out if this is a good fit for you. You can ask us any questions that you need to know the answers to, and we can support you in really activating this gift. I'm so excited for this next round. The previous round was insanely powerful, which means this round is going to be even more powerful. This round is already picking up momentum. I have more people signed up for this round at this stage than I've ever had before. So I know this is going to be a really big, powerful, a powerful 6 months for us coming. We're starting in October. So please get in touch now if you want to know about the early bird prices and if it's a good fit for you. It is a certification course. So you do get insurance. It is a recognized modality. It is a legitimate thing. There is like coursework and exams and stuff. It's not just a random course. You can add it to your list of achievements as a therapist and things like that as well. It is good for doctors, nurses, and very compatible with people in traditional medicine too. Okay, because it's hypnosis based. Okay, let's do our closing prayer, and I will see you guys next Monday. O great Spirit, Father Sky, Mother Earth, the winds, the waters, my Father, my Mother, Atanaha, all that is. We thank you for our lives, and we thank you for these good, good people. We thank you for all that we are and all that we are to become. We dedicate our time spent together and our relationships with one another to you. We ask that our suffering be ended and our pain be lifted to the love and